Hey guys, it's Mahel here, and today I'm going to be taking you through Nottingham's Light Night 2019. Now, what is Light Night? So Light Night is something that the council have decided to host where there'll be many attractions based around light, but also not around light. For example, there is a hip hop cypher that doesn't have anything to do with light that's going on, but there's just going to be many like stalls, attractions, and just things going on around the city centre, whether it be around Trinity Square or Old Market Square or even like Talbot Street. And so I'm going to go and check that out because the university has actually asked me to do an Instagram takeover for their Instagram. So you're going to see me on there. By the time this video comes out, I'll be on the highlights section. So I'm going to bring up Instagram right now. If you do not follow me on Instagram, then make sure you do at Mahel Khan right now. That is because I do usually announce these things on Instagram whenever I'm going to be on the UZ's Instagram page. And so, because videos come out later than a story would when it's live, you should be following me on Instagram so you are up to date with everything that's going on with me. But without further ado, let's go into the city centre. So I'm here on Columbus Street, and so far there's actually no sign of a light night. It literally looks like how it does usually. But if you look behind me, there's nothing to do with light night. So I don't know what's going on. We're almost in Old Market Square, so maybe there's something there. It was supposed to start at 5 and then end at 10, and now it's like 5:30. So hopefully there's something going on. Hopefully it's not cancelled or anything like that, because obviously I've got a story to do. But we shall see as we go deeper into the city centre. So I'm here in Old Market Square, which is basically the main part of the city centre, and there's actually a lot going on. You see my face quite bright because in front of me is a massive Ferris wheel that the city council have decided to put up, as well as many other things. As you see, that's the council, can't remember what they call it, council building, something like that, and it's just lighting up in different colours. It's like transitioning from red to purple to blue, etc. And you have a few performances on. So for example, if I go over here, see what but I'm going to be covering that basically as we go along. So it is now 2 weeks after the light night happened, and I know I got really slacking in terms of filming. Should have really filmed something the following day, not 2 weeks after. However, we're now at home. As you can see, we're not in uni accommodation. I've come back to Dartford, and look how beautiful everything is. I just love being here because it's just such a nice space to be able to just sit down, get my laptop out, which is just chilling there, and do some work, whether it be watching lectures, actively making notes, or anything else. Even if it's not uni work, even if it's, for example, just responding to emails, I like to sit here and just get on with it, because a lot of light actually comes into this kitchen. It's quite sunny today in England. I've already seen stories of people sitting on the grass, getting a Copperberg out or something like that. And I'm thinking, Yes, it may be sunny, but it's only 13 degrees, it's still a bit chilly, so don't overhype the sun just yet. However, if you look up here, obviously that's one way sun can come in, and then I got massive windows there as well where sun can come through. But anyways, my plan for today basically is to, so recently there's been a podcast from fellow study tubers Eve Cornwell, Jack Edwards, Unjaded Jade and Ruby Granger. So I'm actually going to be watching that, or listening to it rather, and see what they have to say and see what the podcast is about, because obviously for study tubers in the space, similar space to where I am, to have released a podcast. Podcasts are actually quite popular right now. It's quite big, and being big, I want to see where they're going with their ideas and just generally have a listen, because who knows, I might find of interest. Their fans have been certainly enjoying it so far, so I want to give it a go, and I do have time today. Being at home, I feel like I'm more relaxed with things, but in a good way, in the sense that I'll be more productive but at the same time more relaxed. Part of the reason I actually came home. So I'll be doing that. And then I'll also be studying, so I need to obviously watch lectures and whatnot, because I'm not at university and it is a Friday right now. So I'll be doing that. And I've actually come home, main reason to study, because I feel like I wasn't doing as much at university and I needed to get away from the uni life, the uni experience, to actually study and just get my head down. And that is why I'm at home. This brings us onto the sponsors segment of the video, and I'm happy to say that this video has been sponsored by The Profs. The Profs is a tutoring company that helps students get into their dream university, helps them throughout their university studies, and ultimately helps them get into their dream jobs. As I learned during my GCSE and A-level studies, it's best that you start as early as possible with your studies to give you the best chance of securing the grades that you need to get into your university of choice, or even your profession of choice. However, along the way you might feel like you're not smart enough, or you just don't have the motivation, and this is where tuition can be of help. The Profs has proved to be successful with its clients, having a 100% success rate with getting its clients into some of the most competitive universities. There's a stigma around tuition that it's only for dumb people and that it's not something that you want to be proud of. However, that is not the case. Someone who may be on AAA, for example, may want that little extra push towards A*, and tuition can help them get there. Similarly, someone who might be on BCC may need AAB to get into their university, so they're not even trying to get into an elite university, they're just trying to get into a Russell group, for example, and might not have the motivation, but they're definitely smart enough to do it, and can seek help from a tutor in order to get the grades they need. The Profs has over 400 professional tutors across different levels of education, and they have all been vetted thoroughly to ensure that you do get a good quality education. If this sounds like something that you want to go for, then we've even partnered up to give you a special discount code of 10% until the end of May using the code Prof Mahel. Be sure to check out the Prof's website too, as well as their blog. Both links will be in the description below. So here I am now in my room and going to be listening to The Wooden Spoon, episode 1, which is called Sorry Your Application Was Unsuccessful, Rejection, Failure and University. I'm going to read you the description of the podcast. Let's move it over to this monitor in front of me. So it says, 4 high achieving students redefine what it means to be successful beyond the books. Traditionally, a wooden spoon is given to the person who comes last in a race. Instead of lingering on the failure of coming last, that same wooden spoon can be put to work and become something useful. The Wooden Spoon is a podcast about success, but more importantly, what success really looks like after you finish school and take on the real world. It's no longer defined by a grade, it's about living a successful life that is unique to you. I like that description. That is quite a well written description. Probably not written by any of those people, but still good I like the analogy. Obviously, they would have thought of the spoon idea. I like it because instead of giving a spoon to someone last, what they're essentially saying is everyone's kind of equal, and with a bit of effort, that spoon that's given to the person that's last, they can also be like everyone else that's like more above them, essentially. That's the way I'm interpreting it, but I think that's a good title name. And so we are going to begin. I've even got some food ready, so you call this a little like mukbang, if you may. Just chips and a wooden spoon, except I'm using a metal fork. Funny. Anyways, we're gonna get started with that right now.
And welcome to the first ever episode of The Wooden Spoon.
So here's Jack Edwards beginning the podcast, and he's explaining what it means.
So the point of this podcast isn't about, you know, avoiding failure.
Deep or depressing sense, but it's kind of based on expectations that I have of myself and maybe goals that I
it's
set
true.
for myself. And if
Failure is not defined by others, but it's defined by yourself. If others recognise failure but you don't, it means nothing.
It's when
that was all I thought about. And then when it wasn't a possibility anymore, I found something new and something else that I love. And
so here they are talking about how they went to the university that they went to, because I think 3 of them applied to Oxford, but they're saying that they're glad that they went to the uni that they went to. It's not about don't always subject to academic pressure. If you don't feel comfortable going somewhere, then don't, even if it is like academic or elite or whatever. You don't need to go there, which I think they're delivering a good message. So we're at the end of the podcast, and what do I think? I think it has potential. The podcast does discuss, obviously, rejection and failure in university, because that's what it's about. But I like the fact that they're basically discussing how they didn't get what they wanted initially, because obviously they wanted Oxford Uni. Jack, Ruby and Jade all applied for Oxford. Jade's not gone to uni yet, she's on a gap year. But they're basically discussing how even though they didn't end up there, well, Jack, for example, is happy at Durham, and basically that you shouldn't, like I said before, you shouldn't fall to pressure of what uni is apparently good. Like, if you don't see yourself going there or being like fitting in, then don't go there. Go somewhere where you'll feel comfortable but also do well at. So I think there's a really good message behind that. Again, I do like the spoon analogy. One thing I'll say is that I kind of agree with one of the reviews that I am looking at right here, which says now if it was a group of young people from underprivileged backgrounds that really had to fight to where they'd have, obviously I'm not sure about their backgrounds, but I can say that obviously it's not like you're someone who's had to go through a really tough time to get to where they are, so I can kind of see that perspective. However, at the same time, these are just 4 stage tubers in the space sharing their own experiences. Not every story has to be about how someone made it from rags to riches. You know, it could just be the ordinary person going for what they desire, which is what the case is here. And they're now reflecting it and sharing to the nation to help other people, which fair play to them. I'm going to keep an eye out for the other playlist episodes, but definitely something to keep an eye out for. Kudos to them. That leads me on to the rest of my day, where I'm going to be watching lectures, and that's not something I'm going to show you because it'll literally just be me just sitting here watching a lecture and listening. So it's not something I'm going to show you, so I'm going to wrap up the video here. If you did enjoy this uni vlog, then make sure to leave a like, comment below and subscribe. Tell me what videos you want to see in the comments below rather. Make sure to check out the profs in the description as well, and my social media links. That's at MahelX on Twitter, at Mahel Khan on Instagram, and official Mahel Khan on Facebook. This has been Mahel, and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.